Welcome to the Grey Horn Pagans podcast. Here we discuss all matters, paganism, heathenism, witchcraft, history, and mythology. Leave a like, leave something nice in the comments, share this with everyone, and enjoy yourselves on this amazing episode of the Grey Horn Pagans podcast. Once more on the Grey Horn Pagans podcast. Welcome everyone. It is good to have you all here. Today I of course have my beautiful co-host, the wifey FireFae, with me again, and two other lovely ladies, Natalie and Stephanie from Immersive Spirits. So I am surrounded today by female energy, but should be all good. Should be a lot of fun. So thank you all for coming on. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, I'm Stephanie, and as mentioned, we're with Immersive Spirits. So don't know what you want us to introduce, but a little bit about what we do. So we do readings and crossings. We do paranormal investigations for folks. We do have our own podcast, High Heels to Happy Feels. It's newer, so we've only got, a few episodes out there, but we're having a blast doing those. Let's see, my sister and I actually have both been very spiritual since we were young, but kind of like our podcast talks about, we went through this whole iteration in our lives of, you go to church, you do what you're supposed to, you go through the programming of everything that you're expected to do. We got into our corporate jobs. And when we hit our 50s, we're like, well, that's not what we love. It's time to come out of our broom closet, so to speak, right? And do what we're about, which is my sister came up with the title spiritual eclectic for us, which is what we are, because we embrace a lot of what we've learned from indigenous studies, from Buddhism, from Wicca, which we'd studied for many years, and we take that and make it ours. So we've got rituals that we do that we love to do for ourselves, and we're very much into the lunar cycles and astrology and following all those pieces, and we use astrology in our intuitive readings and with folks, tarot, runes, and I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of things here, Natalie, but yeah, and we're not used to sitting across from each other. As she'd mentioned, she's flown up. We've got some courses that we're working on, and so we know just sake of time, it's easier to work together. So we're sitting across from each other today, which is unusual, but wonderful. So if I look up and over, I'm looking at my sister.
That's great. Well, thank you all. Thank you for joining. You've got, your story is really one that I have, that I've heard many times from many different people. Never actually sisters though. Usually it's just somebody, and then everyone else went with it. But it just seems that the regular path, spiritual, religious path, it doesn't do it anymore.
Mm-mm.
You said you were doing some courses or workshops. What is it? I just came off another round.
Oh yeah.
So I need to switch on.
Yeah.
So what do you like? What do you do? What do you teach? What do you what do you speak about? Like, I imagine a lot of self empowerment, and all, since you two been through that, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're hitting the nail on the head. Really, what we focus on, well, like Stephanie mentioned, we're both in our 50s, and we do live very far apart. I live in Colorado, she lives in Montana. And we're very connected, like we're best friends. And years and years and years, we would meet on Zoom or any way we could meet, and we would have like our spiritual time. A couple of years ago, our spiritual time started growing from like an hour together where we're drawing cards, talking about our energies, how things are going, outside of the conversations we would normally have. All of a sudden, that hour became 2 hours, and then it became 3 hours, and then it became 2 days of 3 hour. And then we're like, we should really just be doing this and helping others learn not only from our mistakes, but learn the power of setting your intentions, of working with the moon, of working with tools that help you embody what you want to do. And really, that's kind of where Immersive Spirit was born. Just last year, we actually put it into place. So now we're creating courses around that. So people can really dive in and feel the energy of Immersive Spirit. And it's going really good. We're really excited about it. Like, this is the good stuff of life, doing what you want to do and being who you really want to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds absolutely great. And in your 50s, what is
Correct.
your secret? Like, if I look that good in my 50s,
They can't tell you, then they'd have to use you part of the rituals. Come on now, you can't ask them that.
You'd end up in
You can't ask crones what they use in their magic. Are you crazy?
I mean, I'm surrounded by female energy. I don't know what I'm supposed to ask or not ask.
Well, and some of it's just good genes, right? I mean, you look at our parents and where they are. We got lucky on the gene pool on that part. So for sure.
Awesome. Yeah.
I got good chills over here, so if I sound speechless, it's because I got good chills.
All right, we love good chills.
We love good chills. Yeah.
And then I have the genes from my dad's. Like my father's side of the family, with the hair thinning very, very quickly. Luckily, the front view is still good, like the front hairline's still good. So, I'm very lucky.
Right?
That,
Yay for video and podcast.
It's
You're
all
like,
about
yeah,
perspective.
exactly. You have no idea. The back's all knotted back here, and I've probably got some things growing. You have no clue.
yeah, no, indeed, oh, bless the gods for video. Just swoop it the right way, and you're all good.
Right?
Yeah. But also with the cycles of the moon. I mean, honey, you do a lot with the moon and the powers.
I do work with her a lot, yeah. I do. I work with her a lot, and she helps me with my abilities too. So it's kind of cool having 3 psychics on, almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because I'm actually in school right now, so it's kind of cool to have other psychics on.
Nice. What are you going to school for?
I actually just finished my certification to become a death coach, and now I'm on my doula part.
Wow. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
The best way I say it is I'm helping give birth to a soul rather than giving birth to a life.
I love it. And that's exactly what it is, right? I mean, helping that soul to transition.
Well, and then I help them on the other side too. So that's where the school that I'm going to is actually based out of Colorado. And what's really cool is when I told them my abilities and stuff, they're like, you need to join our class because we have a lot of mediums on here. We have a lot.
Where are you going to school in Colorado?
It's called Sacred Connections.
Okay.
It's all online.
Nice.
So they have people from all over the world, all over the country. So I have classmates that are from Europe who join in, who are on that, and I'm in another state. So it's kind of cool that they all connect all of us.
Yeah. And that's what it really is, right? That's the benefit of being online. I mean, that's why we love, even though we have people locally each where we live, 99% of our business is online. Our course content is online. The readings we do are online. You know, everything is via Zoom, or even the Reiki sessions when I'm doing Reiki for people, that's online, because you can do distant Reiki. You can be, if you're in that moment and you're really tapped into it, you can
I
absolutely
actually
do
done
that.
it with him, and I
Yeah.
actually did it with his brother that we lost last year. I did
Yeah.
it with him at a distance through him, through Stein, and I was able to do it through that, and we were able to do it that way. Um,
Exactly.
and what's
Yeah.
interesting enough is I found through my Reiki, I'm actually doing it to help the soul crosser to be at peace.
Yeah. That's nice.
And it
That's a
took me a
nice way to use
long,
it.
well, and it's like it took me a long time to be okay with it because it
Hmm.
was just like I felt like, as I put it, and it was very hard for me, was I apparently had the death touch, and it was very hard for me to be okay with it.
Yeah. But that's part of being a medium, right? I mean, I think that's a part of it. You know, Natalie's mediumship is much more evolved than mine. I mean, they come to her constantly, all day long. But it's all a part of that, right? There's a connection there that the spirit world and those that have passed or that need to pass or whatever that might be, that they feel a comfort level with. I just got full
And that's
body
what's
chills.
interesting too. It's the same way with me and Stein. They'll come visit him and bug him and be like, hey, hey, tell FireFae, tell FireFae. And then he'll
Yeah,
tell me, and then I'm able to feel him and help wherever I can. So they poke at him until he pays attention to give me the message.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
in your
sometimes
death work,
it's
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, because my sister was mentioning lots of people come to me, and over the last year, I've really started doing a lot of crossing. So in your death work, are you getting a lot of that? And I was going to ask specifically about how it's impacting your partner, because other people who live in my home are like, oh my gosh, she's upstairs, because they're starting to feel the energy, even though.
Well, it's interesting enough because he notices signs with me when I'm about to feel something. My eyes go back immediately because
Mm,
that's my way of seeing. I don't know why my eyes go back, but when he sees my eyes go back, he starts asking me questions. Who's there? What do they want? Are they good? Do I need help? I mean, he's keeping me grounded, and he's noticed to kind of keep me here in the present as I'm helping.
wow.
Yeah.
Very
I
interesting.
I
And
mean, I
it's
just try
interesting enough
to.
because he's over there and I'm over here in the States, so it's interesting that he's able to help me from across the pond.
I mean, that's just how our energies are entwined, how our energies are connected, and really have been from day one.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, just she got chilled because somebody walked in
Yeah,
behind the
I've
room for
got a
her,
cold spot sitting right by me now.
and I think it's actually here for you, FireFae. It's a very Billy the
It's
Kid.
my granddaddy. It's my granddaddy.
Is it?
Okay.
Yep, it's my granddaddy.
Was he a very Billy the Kid energy? Outlaw?
Yes, yes. And what's funny is with him and my uncle, they were practical jokesters. So he puts on that persona, but he's actually more like, who can I describe him as? He's more John Wayne. He kind of has that personality of John Wayne once you
So
get to know his energy.
Ugh.
because he's on the wall behind her, and like as you said, it's my granddaddy. He like kicked over to the side of the wall and put a haze thing in his mouth. And it was like, yeah.
Yep, that's my
Anyway,
granddaddy.
sorry, I didn't mean to derail us. It's just I have to acknowledge energies in the room so they don't keep
He
coming.
always visits people that are new, so it's funny. He will actually visit and he'll actually play a practical joke on you guys later, so be careful later.
Okay, what kind
You
of
guys are going
practical
to end up,
jokes so we know?
you might end up missing something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't notice it in all the construction around here, so tell him he's going to have to make it kind of obvious. You're
Oh,
going
he
to have.
will.
Okay,
We'll
He
know.
will, because
great.
he's done it to his sign before.
Yeah. We'll be reaching out going, by the way, your grandpa, he took my. Yeah. Yeah, it's
He'll
getting
do
warmer
probably your
again now, but
glasses. He'll do
he'll do what?
glasses. His favorite are
Really?
glasses.
Oh,
Mm.
he's done that to you so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah.
Well, we're always prepared for anything, but we'll
Good to watch for.
we'll send a nod.
Yeah.
He'll still do it when you guys least expect it. That's what's so funny is like I can tell you, but he'll do it when you least expect it.
Okay.
So it could be like a couple weeks from now, and you'll be like, "So, FireFae."
Okay. What's his name so we can address him by name when we are like
He
asking?
prefers he just prefers Granddaddy.
Okay. All right. Granddaddy, where's my glasses? All right. Just so I know who I'm asking to find my stuff.
Well, no, it's just be like, okay, the joke's over. You can bring me my glasses now, and then you'll turn around and they'll be back.
He will. Yeah, because
Right?
you're the favorite. Like I'm the husband. I'm the guy. If I tell him like, hey, been fun. Can I have my stuff back? He's like,
Well, he sees that they're pretty ladies, so he's gonna give them back. But because, honey,
yeah.
he likes doing it to you because you are so timid about it and not laughing about it, he makes it harder.
You're an in-law.
Yeah. Right?
That's what it is.
And a son and a grandson-in-law to boot. So yeah, they get to.
And he's protective over me.
Yeah.
That he definitely is. That he definitely is. Even though he is on the other side, I still had to get permission.
Oh.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I mean, otherwise he would make sure it is not happening.
You actually had your first psychic dream through me because he came to visit you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
How'd that make you feel?
Yeah.
I've had a few since, and I am always very, very puzzled when I wake up. I'm always just.
That's how it always is with him. That's how it always is with him.
Like, yeah, your granddaddy, or sometimes, at least once, your spirit guides, and like the dreams would be so vivid, and things just like certain details, just very, very odd, but like so incredibly specific. Things that you don't just make up, you don't just dream up.
Well, he's always taking you fishing, and since you're a city slicker, it's kind of funny. He's just like, he picks on me for that one.
Yeah.
Because you squeal like a little girl, apparently, from what I get all the time, is you squeal like a little girl. His words, not mine.
Well, this recording isn't going live now. I'm just gonna cut that whole part out. Like, I have to make myself look good. Like, this is my freaking show. No, she always teases me. She always bullies me, and for some reason, I still put up with her.
Oh, well, love is love.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I do tolerate him at best, though, ladies. I mean, come on now. I tolerate him at best.
But I can imagine as sisters having the same gift, and like working together and doing all those things together. Like, isn't that like really hard sometimes? Like, I mean, of course there's the bond of being sisters and growing up together, but if I just think about like my siblings, my brother, I mean, not anymore, I guess. Or my sister, I could not work with them, like not to this extent.
Not with their personalities, no. What I know of your brother and sister, no.
So how do you do that? Because working with family, or having a business with family, especially siblings. Isn't that like the hardest thing to do?
No, and to add to that, our because we're actually corporate people as well, and we work at the same large organization.
Yeah.
So like every aspect of our life is very similar, but it's great because Stephanie is always my sounding board. When I'm having troubles, she can immediately understand how I feel, the people that are involved, the things that need to be done, and she actually keeps me pretty organized and on path.
Yeah. Ditto. It's and the thing is, it's not like we didn't have sister sibling battles when we were growing up.
She
Of
tried
course
to
we
kill
did.
me when I was 13. She chased me in the house with a knife, had me cornered.
In fairness, I don't remember what we were running around, but I did chase her with a knife. Yeah. But she turned and looked at me. I had her cornered, and she said, "Well, go ahead, kill me. Mom and Dad will ground you the rest of your life." And I'm like,
And she had a big social life, so that was like,
it took all the sport out of it for me, right?
Yeah,
And I'd have never actually killed her, but I was really mad. And so, yeah, so it's not like we didn't have our own feuds. The thing is, though, our minds are so similar in how we think about these things. But our approach is just enough different that we balance each other out. And that's what it really boils down to, is that we really add a great balance and introspection to that. So she'll do like our daily card of the day that, is out on social media, and she just does it differently. She's got a different connection to that, and it works really great. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to focus on doing this for courses or building the website. And that's what I take on. So we take on different aspects of it. And for some reason it just gels. It works really good for us. And I know they always say don't work with family, but I wouldn't work with anybody else.
Well, that's beautiful that you have that bond.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing, though, chasing your sister with a...
I know. I cannot remember what she did that caused said knife incident, but yeah, it was in the living room, and yeah, I was like, and had her behind this chair, and fine, go ahead, ground me. Mom and Dad will, or they'll ground you the rest of your life. And
I mean, at the very least, they'll ground you for the rest of your life.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Don't, you're not thinking about it at the moment, but
No.
yeah, we were pranksters with each other most of the time. It was little things like, we knew we'd slam doors on each other, so you'd put baby oil or toothpaste or something on their door handle on the other side, so when they slammed the door, they couldn't get back out of their room without getting gross. Or, those kind of pranks growing up. We know each other pretty well, though, so we knew what to expect from the other one.
And that just crossed over into the whole spiritual aspect as well. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Babe, do you have anything? Because I'm kind of lost for words. I mean, this is also...
I'm completely at a loss for words right now. Like I was saying in the message, I was like, they feel so familiar and they feel like a family kind of energy. So I have no kind of words at the moment.
We're overwhelming. We know.
But it's weird for me because it's like normally I'm kind of like the one where if I have a medium or someone with paranormal, I'm all about that stuff. And then all of a sudden now it's like I have no words.
Well, so you bring up paranormal though.
Yeah.
So that's a new vein we can talk about. We just did a tour through California, and we're going to Arizona
Next month. Yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah, but our take on paranormal might be different than a lot of people. Like we've not been evidence-based up until this point.
Right.
So now that we have a company and we're like, well, we should kind of show people why we do paranormal work or why people call us in when they have a haunted.
Okay, since you guys are a little bit more versed in this stuff, because I'm still opening my mind to it all.
It's a lot.
How do you guys handle a mimic? Because this mimic that I have on my property, it's kind of like the Bogart from Harry Potter that takes on your worst fear.
Ooh.
And as somebody who has the mindset and the raising up of, skinwalkers and the W word being such a bad word and a bad energy that if you even utter the word or think it, feel it, anything like that, you're bringing ill intent to your family and it will hurt you and everyone that you love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird, like this energy will mimic it and it will scare you to the point where you don't want to come out of your house and then it backs off. And what's strange is I've shown Stein the area in my area that no light penetrates it. None. And that's where it likes to hide. And he's seen it. There's literally no way to penetrate light into it. And I've tried to have people help me who do paranormal before. They've said to try this. They said to try to ignore it. They said, to make sure that you're stronger than the mimic itself. But I can't get it to leave me and my family alone. I've had a medicine woman come out and she's looked at it and she said that there's nothing there. It's just the way that the house was built. But as somebody who's very sensitive, I can definitely tell you there's something there, and I don't know what it is.
Okay, so and this is how we approach. This is like what we do for paranormals. We go in and we try to help with energy. So immediately, what I got, first of all, whatever it is, it blinded me in my right eye. I don't know if that's gonna.
That's definitely what it does in my left eye. I can't see anything when I look at it with my left.
Like it totally blurred my vision out on this side. What I'm getting, and as I got the things I got, my eye actually got worse until I started talking. White sand. I don't know if you have access to white sand, not salt.
I don't.
And if you have any copper wiring or poles that you can drive into the
I
ground.
do, because my grandfather used to work with copper. I think I still have some in the barn.
Literally at the points north, south, east, west, drive them in, call in all of your elements, and then put a copper pole right in the center of those four things as your spirit, and put a tent up around it and cleanse inside that tent every day when you get up.
Here's the only thing.
Right.
It's at my granddaddy's house. I can't go over there because my aunt lives there now. And she doesn't believe in this woo-woo stuff. That's the only downfall. Is there a way I could do it mentally?
You could.
Yeah.
You could. But if you can... A 1955 penny on each of those corners, and a 2024 penny in the middle.
I will see what my kiddo has in 1955. Okay, I will keep that in my head.
And if
Remind me to ask our oldest.
If you want to send me or chat me the address, I know we don't want to do that here on the. I can send you 1955 pennies because it came immediately to my. I knew you weren't going to have them, and it came immediately to my mind that my grandma had some old pennies, and I'm sure I have.
My kiddo has a ton. He collects coins.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
I will see if I can find one from that era. If it's only just one, is that okay to do?
Be better to have one for each corner if
You're
you
going to
can.
want to seal that.
Yeah.
Okay, because if we move off this property, I might have to bury it under the ground. So I might want to do that, bury it.
And that's fine. I think.
Okay. So put the 1955 penny with the 2024 penny, and energetically combine those, and black salt, and bury it in the middle of where you feel that energy field. And black salt, just ash. You can just add ashes to iodized salt or sea salt, or the salt doesn't really matter.
Right.
But that ash will turn it more into a sand, is what they're telling me.
Okay, because the energy's bad, because like my arm's starting to go numb. That's why I don't really talk about it much.
Yeah.
Well, because now you're facing it head on. So everything everybody else told you is absolutely true too, but this is a little more actionable. Just make sure you set the intention that this thing will never follow you. It's not allowed. All of the things that you want to stop. Make sure you set that as you're putting those 2 pennies in the ground.
Feels like very.
We'll do this for the full moon. It's very residual, and what's interesting is off air, I'll tell you another urban legend that is connected to this property. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and you've even shown me some things, like actual physical things, like...
So, back when we had our...
Patches of white-ish...
So what was interesting enough is that on one of my trees that we've had to cut down since then because she got sick, and she was an aspen, and she was where my fae loved to hang out. At one point when this was going on, the dog that you guys probably sense who's around you, who's the little shadow puppy, who's in and out, she was afraid to go outside. And the next morning there was claw marks on the tree. And what's even worse is there was fur that did not belong to a skunk didn't belong to a raccoon, didn't belong to anything known to my area, and it was in the tree and it was stuck in the eyes of the aspen.
And like at about man height as well, like not
Like 6'6",
animal.
like
Yeah,
above average.
Around where an
pretty high
animal,
up.
But it was
canine.
stuffed in the eye of the aspen, so in those
Hmm.
eyes. That's
I
Eye.
actually think it's trying to coax you.
out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's because to me it felt very much like wolf energy.
Well, and what's interesting enough is I work with wolves, and what's interesting enough is it was a time that my mom and my sister were out of town, so I didn't have the mother, the maiden, and then the crone. Or the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Sorry, I got that mixed up.
Interesting. Yeah, because I love wolves, but that's very much
But it was coaxing her out because she loves wolves too.
right. You're an easy play for that very reason, because
And you didn't have your team with you.
right.
Well, and what's interesting enough is it was when my brother was also home, and he was staying at his girlfriend's house, his now my sister-in-law, and I had my son, my brother, and my dad. So we had all.
Got it.
On the
Interesting.
male line, at least. Yeah.
So when you do your ground and clearing and protecting, I would extend your protection barrier all the way out. And if you're protecting with light, I would intentionally set a field of armor on top of that light. Like if you think of iron, if you think of titanium, if something
Steel.
that is going to...
I'll do steel because that's closely connected to my grandfather.
Yep. Do
Perfect.
steel then.
And do it all the way out of the boundaries of your property
Okay.
and deflect anything that's not for your good.
Right. It's all returned to Mother Earth to consume. Gone.
Yep. Drop that in.
Okay, we'll talk about this after the show too because there's a lot.
Wow.
Okay.
So, what is your scariest or scariest experience, or the one that left the biggest impression on you? Since we're swapping ghost stories anyway.
You want to go first?
Well, my biggest, is what got us into it when I was 5, and that scared the crap out of me because we were staying at a babysitter's house. My grandfather on my mother's side had passed away, and we were very young. I was 5, my sister was 2.
I'm
And
younger. She just admitted it.
And, we're upstairs taking our nap in this attic because it's nap time, your kids, little. And there was a strange black, well, not even black shadow, but what you picture as a little kid, right? They're going to come to you in the image that you can relate to until you're open and can really see past some of the just imagery. But it was just that typical sheet floating on a wall kind of thing hovering over me. And I even looked outside, and we're a couple of floors up, so there's not like anything blowing around or anything like that. I run downstairs to tell the babysitter, oh my gosh, there's something in there, and I get you're not getting out of your nap, you need to go back upstairs. And so I go up there, and it hung out a little while, and then it disappeared into kind of a beam on the wall. And it would be years later that we would all sit and talk about it and kind of really delve into timing of all that, and it was when they were at my grandfather's funeral. So I know it was my grandfather coming to say goodbye, but to a 5-year-old kid, that is a memory that you will never forget. It left a very long-lasting impact. I mean, I'm sure there will be others that as we start doing the evidentiary part of this, more than we're focused on just the crossing aspect that we've done privately, but where we're actually videoing and going back and re-examining things, there'll probably be a lot more aha moments, and didn't see that when we were there, thankfully, or, kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of things, you get poked, you get prodded, your shoulder gets brushed, and different things happen. And yeah, you just have to reground and know you're protected. So.
Well, and like as we entered this spiritual part of our lives, where we came out of the broom closet, like Steph said, I realized going back, I always thought I lived in haunted houses. And the more I reflect on that, it wasn't the houses that, like, you don't live in 15 haunted houses.
No.
So it was more, I was haunted. Like, the teams have been approaching me this whole time, and I have so many scary stories from each house that I've lived in. Like, truly hair raising, like, why? What is wrong with me? Why do I keep picking these houses? There's a ton, but like the thing that sticks out the most for me is after we've done all of the spiritual work together, because, all right, lots of people like to be involved in spirituality. It's interesting. Witchcraft, it's entertaining. Indigenous studies, connection with the earth, the real things that happen. Buddhism, the going within yourself. So you start working through all of those things, and Steph and I loved those things too. And then when you start realizing that maybe there's a different aspect to it, and all those things happen. So I was at the Stanley hotel with my kid, because we go there a lot, because we've always loved the spooky side of things, and being a little bit scared. So we were there with all of this spiritual background and all this stuff, and nothing had happened, and we're in next to room 217, and we're sitting on the bed, and we're talking about it, and we have flashlights around the room and video cameras and all of that. Nothing has happened. We've been there for 7 hours. So we're just chatting about it after dinner, sitting on the bed facing at each other, and his friends with us, and the flashlight to the right on the nightstand goes off. And I was like, that's interesting. So I look over and I lift the SLS camera to see if there's anything, because you want to capture that kind of thing. We never recorded this. This was just for us. So the flashlight's going off, and I look up, and as I'm bringing the SLS up, I see her. And she looks back at me, and it's this little lady, and she's bent over, and she's poking the flashlight. And this happened before I had the SLS up, and that was my spiritual awakening, because I saw her with my own eyes and nobody else did.
Yeah.
And then it mapped perfectly as to how I saw her standing. So that was like, it wasn't a scary moment, but it certainly was. It was my like, okay, I can actually see them when I'm paying attention.
Right.
And that's when I started paying attention.
Well, that sounds fascinating. Like, just now I like kind of envision like this little old woman, like kind of like what's this? What is
Right?
this? What is
Poking
this
the
thing?
button on the flashlight, just playing with it.
Yeah, I don't know this. It's fascinating, but I don't know this.
And that's exactly what it felt like too. And she's bent over, and then she looks at me.
Like, oh, you can see me.
Why are you looking at me in the eyes? Like, and then she was off. But it was really fascinating. So do you guys have any scary stories? I know, FireFae, you certainly do with what you've got going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. My first experience with the paranormal and opening my eyes to the fact that I have the gift is the fact that I shut this out. It's surprising that I remember this now. I was 5 years old, and we were coming down from a mountain pass from camping, and there was an accident. And I remember telling my mom, who was standing in front of the car, and because it was at a standstill, it was just a car, but she's like, there's no one there. And later on, I found out that the person I saw was the driver that was killed in that car accident along the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And those will tear you up. Natalie almost got us in a wreck. We were going over to teach and help coach at a retreat here in June this last year, driving over to Washington State. And she'd flown up here, and then we're driving over because we've got all of our tools and course content and everything else. And as we're driving this little stretch down, it's on the res. It was on the reservation, and there's these skid marks on the road, and I'm doing 70. It's Montana. That's the speed limit on almost every road up here, and 70 miles per hour. And I'm cruising along, and she almost screamed at me because she saw a car. She saw it plain as day. A car swerve, lose control, and go off and roll into the ditch. And what she was seeing was the residual from all that was left was the skid marks. There was nothing there, not even the vehicle or anything like that. But she saw the accident replay and almost caused us to get in an accident because she almost screamed at me and grabbed my arm to miss it. Those are tense moments.
They are, and
yeah.
As a little girl, my mom had to play it off, saying,
"Oh, that's all." Yeah. And did she
I was
is your
little.
mom pretty open too, though? I mean, did she understand what it was that you
Yeah,
saw?
she's understanding, and I think in that moment she realized that I had both visual and auditory
Yep.
because she's only able to see, or no, she's only able to hear. My sister's only able to see. So I have both. And I'm starting to think our oldest is the same way as me, where he's visual and auditory because he sees and hears stuff.
Yeah.
And he also feels. He feels a lot more intensely than I do. To go off the paranormal, our youngest cat, Celine, are spooky. I mean, if you saw her, she looks like she has a spooky face. She went missing. And she was around somewhere outside, and I couldn't locate where she was because she's a fast little booger when she wants to move. And I asked our oldest, I was like, where is she? And he's like, okay, 1 second. And he described a red truck and bushes.
Hmm.
Or no, was that where the oldest one was? Was that where
That
Timothy
was
was, our co-host?
yeah, that was where Timmy was before
So
he
he
eventually found
said that,
his way back.
so that's where little one, or he was. And then little one, our oldest, picked up and said she's near where Stein left. And I was like, huh. So I told him, and she was sitting in the bushes just waiting for him to come home.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. She actually,
Wow.
because the supermarket where I do a lot of my groceries, like it's a few minutes walk, and both kitties, if I, if I go slow enough, I'm tall, I walk fast. If I
I know I'm like Michelle from Full House and be like, I got little legs, wait for me.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But like both cats they'll walk with me, and Celine, the smallest one, she like got further than than she knew, like than she was familiar with, and she was like she wasn't even a year old by that point, like actual like kitten still.
Right.
Now she's just a big kitten. And like she actually went with me like all the way to the supermarket, which for me
Wow.
is like not even a 5 minute walk. But I'm like 6'1", so
Right.
imagine for a kitten
That's a long walk. Yeah.
that's a whole trip, and especially in a part of town, part of the neighborhood that you're not familiar with. Got out of the supermarket, I was like already kind of looking around, like she's still here somewhere. Didn't see her, so I was like, I guess she managed to find her way back home, because Timothy, the big red that you saw at the beginning,
Yeah.
he for some reason always manages to find his way back home. But then again, he's been with me a little longer. He's more experienced
Right.
than just being an outdoors cat and being the boss of the neighborhood.
Right.
So yeah, our eldest was. Well, he also said something about like she being near a body of water, which was correct, because where the supermarket is, it's actually near a small artificial pond near the old folks' home, near the just a giant hospice
Yeah.
that is there, and yeah, that was quite special. And also with our Timmy, our eldest FireFae kid, he mentioned something like a big red truck, like just a Ford Raptor, I believe. And I was like, I mean, yeah, awesome.
The
But
likelihood of you seeing that over there is very slim.
Right.
it's the
Right.
Netherlands. Our roads are pretty small, If
Right. You don't
anything,
have all the big American trucks over there like that. Yeah. I
no,
remember
no.
that in
And I
Germany.
mean, if you do, we're just gonna assume that you have some issues that you're not too
Some
sure about
lacking,
your
yeah.
manhood, and you need something to compensate.
Exactly.
So the likelihood of finding a red truck, like a he mentioned a raptor, right? Or
He
like
did, and he said there was black on it too. And then as you were walking back home, what do you know? There was one right there.
yeah,
Wow.
there actually was like one of the
And it was
incredibly
souped up in everything too. And it was just like,
Crazy.
yeah.
of course. And that's what's so interesting is like when our oldest taps into me, because I'm connected to Stein, he's able to see through me and then see through Stein. And it's like, holy moly. This
Wow.
kid is his age and he's able to sense this stuff. And what's even more interesting is to touch base off of his ex. She's been into demonic stuff for as long as I can remember, for as long as me and him have been together. And I took the window pane off of my window because it broke, and it's sitting in his room for it was sitting in his room for the longest of time. And I recently took it out. He's like, Mom, there is some red eyes glowing in that window pane. You might want to clear it. And so when I slept that night,
Oh,
that's our spooky baby.
oh, beautiful. Look at those colors.
Yeah,
That's our little spooky. I mean, if you look at her face, she has like a little pumpkin on her face.
yeah.
Hey, baby.
Gorgeous. That is a beautiful cat.
Yeah, it is.
So it's her nickname is Spooky Pookie. But
Good.
what's
She'll be walking
interesting
downstairs. I have to
is
grab her.
she did the same thing where I saw the same eyes in the reflection, and what was even creepier is I've heard his ex laugh before, and I know what she sounds like when she laughs. It sounds like a very sickly, sweet laugh that you can tell is fake. And then
How you know about
basically,
that? That's funny.
and so I woke up to it and I realized that she's been using that window pane to send ill intent.
Oh,
Mm.
jeez.
So a
Yeah.
lot of the energy that you guys are picking up that's on the ill intent is from his ex.
Yeah, the one that I actually have 2 kids with.
Oh,
Um,
goody, huh?
yeah, yeah, that I've been in
So it's basically
a
what we
custody
like to
battle with
say
for
is
5 years.
I'm the good twin, she's the evil twin. That's basically how we describe it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm also also very open to say that I love my kids. I absolutely, I love my son. He's a mini me, which
Oh,
can
he
also
is.
be very
Oh
confrontational.
gosh,
Uh-huh.
Seeing a mini
definitely.
me running around doing the same things that you do, that you did, and questioning like of everything, out of everything that you can copy
And
from
he
your
has his
dad.
daddy's blue eyes, and he loves to flirt with those blue eyes.
Oh,
Even though I'm daddy's
Oh,
girl, he'll peek around daddy's shoulder. Even though he knows I'm daddy's girl, he'll flirt with me with those blue eyes. And I'm like, you are going to be a heartbreaker when you are older.
oh,
oh,
he already
cutie.
was when he was younger. Like just
Oh, I know. He does the same as the oldest.
2 years
And
old
then,
in the stroller, like flirting with the cashiers.
and then our middle, his oldest, with her, our little girl, she has the reddest of red hair. I mean, red hair.
She's on fire.
And she's like me, where she's very in tune with the magical stuff.
Yeah,
She's even more powerful than me.
Wow.
she's a
And
little witchling, definitely.
Nice.
our kids are super powerful compared to me and him. And that's where, if you're picking up on any negative energy around me or him, it's because of her.
Right. Kids are amazing. My kids are both
Ooh.
much better at being in tune with the energies around them than I am. Like
Mhm.
my kiddo, because I do clearing work a lot, so lots of spirits come to my house, and I have things set up for them to help cross them over. He was taking a test, and he texted me And I'm at my corporate job, and he's like, Mom, I've got this older man walking around with this little girl in my class. I'm trying to take a test. Can I send them to you? It's like, okay. And I'm in a meeting, like, got my suit on going, okay, my kid's sending dead folks over.
Yep.
So
Pause,
I
please.
totally get that.
Yeah.
Kids are amazing.
Yep. They learn.
Well, they're
as long as you're
super
open.
strong.
But it's,
Well, and I've always been open.
yeah, there's a lot of parents out there that they don't have that benefit, right? Of they're going through the programming stage and telling the kids that it's an imaginary friend and that's not real and all of this. And then those kids are going to come out 20, 30, 40 years from now and be going, wait, it is real, or it is okay, and this is all acceptable. So it's so great when you talk to other parents that are sharing that with their kids at a nice young age to let them develop their own path. And if they want to find organized religion and all of those things, that's a choice, but at least they have options, and that's amazing.
And that's what I loved about my mom, even though she told me they were imaginary friends, because, we grew up in a very religious home. She would come back to me later on that night and just be like, just so you know, this isn't probably a figment of your imagination. This is probably someone coming to visit. And that's what I loved about her, is that even though we were raised in a very religious upbringing, she was very in tune with the pagan stuff, and she was able to blend the two without it being obvious that she was doing it.
Yep. That's awesome.
Well, it's interesting that you guys read cards, because there was a deck that actually spoke out and wanted you guys to know about.
We do read cards.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were screaming my name to say something.
Oh, okay.
So,
what's the deck?
It's called The Golden Future.
Okay.
And it's on an oracle. It's saying we are moving towards a new golden age, a time of peace, harmony, and abundance, when everyone cooperates for the highest good. This oracle offers guidance to help you negotiate our current turbulent times, as well as preparing you for the cosmic energies that will shift the planet for a higher frequency. So that's the one that was told me to tell you that you guys need to get.
Okay. We will look at it as soon as we're done.
We don't ignore the spirit guide.
Nope, we don't. We don't.
There's a lot of my cards that are calling my name right now, too, and I'm just like, guys, shush.
I know, and we have so many decks between us, right? Oracle and tarot and,
standard decks,
right?
Playing cards.
Right? And just so much stuff.
I have 18. I have 18 so far.
Wow.
That's a pretty good number.
That is a good number.
I'm probably pretty close to that.
Yeah, I'm less. I'm probably like 12 or 13, so way to go.
Well, I kind of found one on Hay House that sends you 3 decks every quarter, and I have loved every single deck that I've gotten so far.
Wow.
Do you have
I don't have that one yet. I have my Animal Guides Tarot. I have Secrets of the Ancestors, the Divine Masters, Angels and Oracles, the Mystical Shaman, the Light Seers, Native Spirit, Moonology Messages and Manifestation, the Golden Future, Angelic Activation, the Ancient Stones, Wisdom of the Oracle, Archangels, Guides of the Hidden Realms, and Intuitive Whispers.
Another one you need to look at, I think you'd like, is called The Shaman's Dream.
Yep.
That is one of my...
I had a connection to that one.
It is a beautiful deck. It is my go-to. It is my favorite oracle.
You might want to look at the Mystical Shaman one then too, because that's a good one for you too.
I was thinking, I think I have that one, so I need to look and see, because I've got several different decks with shaman, but actually it's shamanic medicine. That's the one I've got. And then I've got the shaman.
This guy does the same one as the Mystical Shaman. He does the same art.
Okay, mystical.
That's what we need, is to go out and buy more decks.
I know.
But I'm being told by my guides to say something.
But if you're hearing it, say it. That's that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're conduits. If you hear the message, repeat the message. Mm-hmm.
The other one that I'm being told that you guys need to look to for your journeys is called Medicine Cards. And it's one from the 1988. so before my time. It's a native deck, and it's a really beautiful deck. Really beautiful.
Yes, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Honey, I should have had you host this one, because I can
Well,
hardly
my
get a
spirit
word
guides
in.
are taking over.
Right? They're like, no, tell him this, tell him this, tell him this. Okay.
All your spirit guides are taking over, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, I'll just.
Well, no, the Fae are too, and I'm just like, gosh, I'm getting overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
This happens to be holding my computer up.
Yeah.
And it's the one I just mentioned. Everyday Witch.
Oh, that's pretty too. I want to look at that one.
Great tarot. It's a great tarot.
It's a tarot. But it's a good one. Yeah. It's kind. It's kinder than some of those tarots can be, I mean, I know like the Rider-Waite deck. Yeah, the Rider-Waite is a very popular, and it's the original and all that, but I've never resonated strongly. Just me personally, I have never resonated strongly with that deck because it is, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't speak. It's flat. It doesn't speak to me. The cards don't. The art, and it's beautiful, and especially for its time, but I have it, of course, because everybody should have a Rider-Waite deck. It's one of the originals, but I don't know. It's just not a favorite. That Everyday Witch is a beautiful one. Lightseer Tarot is obviously a great tarot deck.
I have the pocket one.
Yeah,
Me too.
us too. Yep, that's what we traveled. That's what we traveled to Germany with last year. We're like, we need pocket size. Yep.
The other one that's speaking to me right now is the Animal Guides Tarot. This one's a really good one. It's like a very light-filled one. They don't exactly do reversed. It's more of like if it's reversed in that sense, it's saying, please pay attention to the message. This is what you need to know. You need to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's basically just saying pay attention. There's no like negative with it at all.
Nice.
And that's what I like is like, for the longest of time, Stein knows that I was afraid of the Oracle and the tarot decks because when I was pregnant with my son, they basically told me that I was going to die.
Mm.
I was at a metaphysical store and she pulled a card and I was with my ex at the time and they told me I was going to die.
Oh, well, yeah.
And
hey, number one, as a reader, you never, ever, ever get to tell anybody they're going to die.
I know, but I was young and
I would have, right, you're younger and you don't know to just go ahead and give that person a nice old smack. But yes, that is absolutely crossing a line. So
she said, you're going to die. And then she looked up and because my ex was outside on his phone, she said, you're going to die by his hand.
Oh, geez.
Ouch.
And I'm like, oh, so it was just like, now you've made me afraid of the cards. And for the longest of time, I couldn't read the cards. And then my mom gave me her old deck, even though there was a card missing. And come to find out, the card that has been missing is a good card that she needed to have missing because she had to burn it. And it was just interesting because after she burned that deck, I've been able to be very intuitive with my cards. I've done some for Stein, and he's like, say what? Because it's like so accurate of what he needs to hear.
Yeah.
Decks are amazing.
Yeah.
It's a good way for us to open up and for them to communicate. That was when Steph and I started out, and I said we met 3 hours for 2 days, and it just kept growing and growing. A lot of that time was spent looking at cards and talking about different spreads and just actively journaling out loud, I guess is what we did.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm big in the Oracle decks. I love Oracle decks. I love the less, it's always great to have a little guide or something that gives you what that card meant to the writer. But that was meant by the person that wrote the book and that wrote, that drew the art or whatever.
Because they were called to do it.
Because that's what they're called. Yeah. That's what it is for them. And so when you actually take away the book and just look at the card, you don't look at the words. And there's some beautiful, beautiful wordless oracles out there. And
like the Cloud Jumper deck.
The Cloud Jumper deck that Isabeau Maxwell, and she's a friend, and it's a beautiful deck. And it's
there's no words, so you have to
there's no guide, there is no words, there's nothing on it. You have to look at it and say, what am I hearing from my team? What am I hearing from my higher self? What am I
And
getting
that's
from this
basically what I
card?
do.
And that is when you're building your intuition, right? That is when you are actually doing intuitive development, because you're not asking somebody else's opinion about something. You're not saying, what's this book and what's it tell me I'm supposed to do, and going with their interpretation.
Yeah, you're using the dictionary items your team has developed.
And that's what I love doing readings with Stein, is because like I'll do a reading form and then I'll cover what the card name is
Uh-huh.
and what the little description on the bottom is. And I'll ask him, use your third eye and use your intuition and tell
Yep.
me what you sense and what you feel with this card.
Yep.
And then we'll look up the meaning after you're done, and I'll do my interpretation of what I see and I feel. And then we'll
Exactly.
look it up, and 9 times out of 10, it's right on what he said or what I said.
Yep.
That's so great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love working with cards because they're a good divination tool to help you.
Yeah.
I did guys send you the link in our
Yep.
little chat bubble of
I
the
see that. Thank you.
quarterly. Of course.
You send it in the main chat, because this I was live streaming the other day and I forgot to turn the live stream off, so this is live.
Yeah, I saw the live
it-
stream chats in there.
Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be live, but like I said, I forgot to turn the live off. I'm still used to
So much for editing it out.
Uh-huh. Yep. That's your guides telling you, no, you will not edit today. You are live.
I can unlist it, take it off, edit
Uh-huh.
it, upload it again. There are ways. I'm tech
You're
savvy.
talented in your ways.
So, do you guys mind if I do a reading real quick? Because I'm being told I need to do a reading for all of us. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Is that okay with you, honey?
Does it matter if I say yes or no? I mean,
No, because you got 2 girls saying yes.
well,
Fine, you're outruled.
Well, my
yeah.
ancestors and spirits were like, hey, hey, hey. All right. So I'm reading from my newest deck, the Intuitive Whispers Oracle deck by Maud Hirsch. So I am shuffling 3 times, and you guys can tell me when to stop. This is mostly for you guys. I can't show you the card, but I will send a picture of it when we are done.
Okay.
So I shuffle 3 times because it helps me get my energy into the cards and wakes them up. You guys can tell me to stop at 3, or I go until you tell me to stop.
Stop.
After 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mute for a second. Mute.
I was surprised. My cards were like, wait, what? So there's 44 cards in here. Miss Stephanie, I need you to choose a number, and then Miss Natalie, I need you to choose a number after.
Okay, choose a number.
13.
18.
And then you guys together choose a number between 1 and 42.
11.
Do you agree, Miss Natalie?
I do.
Okay, you guys got some good ones. All right.
Because everything always works out for us.
Yeah.
All right, so Miss Natalie, your card was One Next Step. And it has a castle on there. There's waves and there's stepping stones. Miss Natalie, you got It's Time to Shine. And there's a tiger under the moon with the sun. And it's snowing. And then for you guys together, you guys got Trust the Call. And there's a bird, there's someone sitting on a rock, and you guys are watching either the sunrise or sunset.
Just trust the call. That's the big message right there.
Yeah, that's been a message for quite some time
Uh-huh.
for us. What was Stephanie's card?
I think mine was the
That
tiger.
was her card.
That was the tiger? Okay.
Mine was the tiger, or mine was which one was mine? Stephanie?
One Next Step is yours, Miss Stephanie, and then It's Time to Shine is for Miss Natalie, and
Oh,
then you
okay.
guys together is Trust the Call.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Nope. That sounds about right. Yeah.
That's our spirit guides tell us that daily.
Pretty much. Nice to hear him
Right?
use you
They're
to be like,
no,
hey, daily
seriously.
reminder. Here you go. Hear it.
We're going to use FireFae to show you
Right?
what we mean again.
You're not listening. Okay, here you go.
I love spirit.
Here's a smack in the face.
Right? Again, here's your truck. We're going to run over you with it. Come on, children. Yep.
So One Next Step. What if you stepped into the unknown? What if you followed your instincts rather than following the crowd? So we often stop ourselves from taking action out of the fear that we might get it wrong or that we're not clear on exactly where we are going. This moment is the time to stop procrastinating. Listen to your gut feeling and listen to your spirit guides and take that next step. It can be designing a mood board, starting your novel, getting out in nature, or whatever it is that you desire. The first step is always the hardest. So take a deep breath, face the direction you want to go, and step forward. The rest will follow.
They're such buggers.
Like, seriously.
It's like we hear it every day, almost the same message. And it's like, she flew up here. We're working on content.
I'm literally here because of that message that we got from Spirit last
Right.
week.
This was like 4 or 5 days
completely
ago.
unplanned.
Yeah.
It was like, no, you guys need to get together and get some stuff
We need to
done.
get
Take
together.
that step forward. And
Yep.
so I was like, all right, I'll get a plane ticket.
Right. And here we are. Good
So
grief.
it's
And then for yours, it's time to shine, Miss Stephanie.
Uh-huh.
Put on your, or Miss Natalie, sorry, Miss Natalie. Put on your party shoes and get yourself ready to shine. All the hard work has been done. Now relax and step forward into your next chapter. It's time to share your gift and be seen and be heard. What have you been waiting to share or try? You have picked this card because it's time for you to do it. Turn on the light switch and illuminate yourself. What is coming through right now, creatively, spiritually, or emotionally, that needs to be shared? Trust it, trust yourself, and trust your spirit guides, and trust this moment. It is a powerful moment. Go take that stage, metaphorically or literally, of course, and see what magic happens. Don't let doubt creep in. Jump in. The spotlight is waiting.
So you guys, it's fun, and you guys are spiritual people, so it's not that you're not going to believe this, but go look at our YouTube channel, card draw yesterday and today, when you have a
I will.
It's immersive spirits. Like, it's funny. You're
I
just gonna
just
laugh.
subscribed to your channel actually, so
Awesome. Thank you.
I will here in a minute.
my pleasure. Yeah, I'll
So-
send it to you in chat.
I'll send you guys the pictures of the cards too. So
Wonderful. Thank you.
last one for you both, the last one of the very deck. Trust the call. Your intuition is calling you now. Are you listening? Maybe you've been too busy or distracted to hear it, but it's always communicating with you and directing where you need to go. If you're struggling to find clarity in that direction of your life, stop listening or stop looking and start listening. Trust that gut instinct and your spirit guides that it is your internal navigator. Long before our phones became our navigators, we instinctually knew where to go. So put up that phone and trust this call instead. It is a call that has no agenda except your own happiness.
Nice.
And I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting that you got those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it now. The reading from yesterday. That is like I'm not gonna watch the video now, of course, but
Right.
the title already is "Take That Leap."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Both readings are just going to make you laugh.
Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, look at what they were being told. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Shocker.
One of my cards are like, are they listening? No.
Right.
Right? Go again.
We're taking those steps.
Yes, we are. We are.
And we're going to shine. So.
Stay tuned.
Her cards are brutal. I have been.
Oh, they always are.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it was funny. He's like, oh, can they just be gentle with me? And then it's like, okay, we'll be gentle with you for the first one. Second, we'll kind of wind up for it. Third one, smack.
Right? Only if
Yeah.
you're doing what you're told. If you're paying attention and doing what you're told, they'll be kind. If you're like ignoring the message, then pretty soon you start getting the repeat, right? You get the tower every day. You get the whatever, and you're just like, all right, I know, change is coming. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
He's more stubborn than me, and that's a feat.
Right.
Faye, can I pull a card for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There it is.
Oh, it's
So
already.
I let the cards jump out, so you don't get a choice. Sorry.
It's whatever.
My
the
cards
card
only like
says.
jumping for me.
They
My
don't.
cards don't like jumping for other. It's weird. My cards never jump for anyone else. They jumped for him once because it was a message he was not receiving. But that was the only time.
All right, so if you
Get
you can
closer
look it
to
up
the
in your-
mic. There you go.
You can look it up in your book too, but so these are the witch ones. The first one I got was the Two of Wands.
It's blurry.
So literally the earth, the magic, everything is in your hands. Things are being attracted to you. You'll notice there's fire and smoke. So to me, that really, just based on what you've been talking about, is the stuff that's going on around outside of you. But all the good things are coming in. So you have the magic in your hands. You have the choices. The second card I got was Page of Pentacles. To me, this is very directional. You need to make a choice and decide what direction you're going to be. You're at kind of a crossroads. You theoretically know where you want to go because you've got that magic in your hand. You need to take action on it. So now, let me read
The descriptions.
That makes sense because I am at a crossroads, staying here or going there.
So it comes to truth.
Uh-huh. And that's an interesting
And that
road,
face
'cause
says
that's
it all.
a literal road. Yeah.
And that face says it all.
Right? Okay, so I have to go to...
And I told you time and time again, it is just so much easier for you to get here than it is for me to get over there.
Truth.
But the paperwork is so hard to get there.
So
But
there's a
you
lot
don't
to read, so I'm
have
not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read the highlights. It is good to spend time contemplating your options, but sooner or later you're going to have to choose which direction pulls you the strongest. So that was actually the one holding the ball. And the Page of Pentacles.
I'm not laughing, I swear.
Those damn spirit guides.
My path is wide open, and I am prepared for new adventures. So you put those two together, and there you are.
New adventures. That is not where you are currently.
Right, so take that path and then accept the new adventure, and all good things are going to
Moving on. Moving on.
So basically what I have been telling you for how long?
So Stein loves the cards. It's like, yes, Spirit, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Affirmation.
Maybe she'll actually listen to Spirit since she doesn't listen to me.
But it's just interesting that, it's just like your guys' energy just feels so familiar to me at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like that teacher energy.
Oh, great. That's good.
I just don't know how to explain it.
I know. It's
I don't know how
easy
to
talking to
explain it.
you guys, too. It is. It's just
really
very nice, natural flow. So thank you.
Although, in that, we have about 10 minutes left, and I know we wanted to do some talking on the side. So, Stein, do you want to...
Oh yeah, no, I can like wrap the official part up if
Okay.
if you only have 10 more minutes left. That is perfectly fine. Like this has been such a great show. Even my backdrop came down.
I told you Granddad was there. He even played a practical joke on you too.
Yeah. He's like, no,
Yeah,
go backdrop.
He's been doing that. He's been doing that lately. Perhaps also
You're
making
welcome.
like, hey, get some better stuff, boy. I know. Getting better stuff one day, one thing at a time.
Right.
But yeah, ladies, all the ladies. I'm the only guy here, which is odd. Like, I'm not used to being surrounded by such amazing female energy. So Natalie, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on. This was amazing, even though I barely got a word in because it was all FireFae.
Told you it happens when psychics are in the same room. We're gonna take over. It just happens.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially when all the spirit people get involved with
Uh-huh.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason why I was like, honey, you're gonna do this one with me. And I mean it's only good that she was the one talking the whole time because usually she's the shy one that puts in a word every now and then.
Wow.
And
I usually am. I'm usually the one in the background just listening.
Interesting.
Well, I love this. I
Yeah.
love that you're up front.
And now, I mean, in the studio you have the role of guest, but you were the host pretty much. So, yeah, thank you all for joining. Immersive Spirits, Natalie, Stephanie, go find them on YouTube, find them everywhere. I'll make sure that after the live is over and I have done some editing, I'm still yeah. I'll make sure that the important links are, of course, in the description box down below, and FireFae and I will watch the latest 2 card readings. The one from yesterday already connects with this one, and syncs up with this one, so should be a blast.
Awesome, thank you.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and thank you for all who have been watching. Thanks for all who have been listening. If you want to find out more about the Greyhorn Pagans podcast, the Tribe of Greyhorn Pagans, and the Grove of Odin, simply go to our website, www.greyhornpagans.com, where you can find everything from the podcast to our merch and Patreon to books, blogs, everything that we have done ever. And I mean, if you're surfing over the interwebs anyway, do pay a visit to the Immersive Spirit website as well.
Oh, thank you.
I am going to end it here because there are some things that need to be discussed in private, of course. So, thank you all. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, leave something nice in the comments. Tell us your favorite ghost story, because why not?
Right.
Share this with everyone, because this was such a awesome, high-vibing show. Everyone needs to hear this. Everyone needs to feel this. And until next time, everyone, we will see you. Bye-bye. This was yet another amazing episode of the Greyhorn Pagans podcast. We thank you all for watching. We thank you all for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you will be notified whenever we upload something new. Support us on Patreon for early access and for everything else that we do with the tribe, for everything else that we do with the podcast. Find us on www.greyhornpagans.com. For now, we thank you, and until next time.